Charlie from Adventures with Charlie, and today I'm going to give you my review of Pups Alone. Charlie is a dog who's just moved with his owners to a new neighbourhood. When that new neighbour decides to take Charlie's owners on a ski lodge, Charlie is fine being home alone, as well as all the other dogs in the neighbourhood. However, all these dogs, different species, must come together to defend Charlie's house before some burglars try to break in. So when I first heard the title, I wasn't really too excited. I mean, it sounded fine, but from the sounds of it seemed like it was going to be a Home Alone ripoff, but with dogs instead of people. But I popped it on the other day, last week, and yes, it's a Home Alone ripoff, but it's actually an okay one. It's actually something that knows it's ripping off Home Alone, but it's not doing but it doesn't do it in a bad way. And in fact, it rips it off, and get one of the better rips off of movie rip-offs. Like, probably one of the best, which probably ain't saying much. So let's get into the characters. Now, with the dog side of the story, this is something I'm going to say a lot during this review, but the dog side of the story is definitely the better part. Right. This is mainly thanks to the leading dogs. Each of them have a strong personality, each very likable, but and do offer some pretty good jokes. Charlie is the leader. Who has to take lead as he knows the situation best. As Skidget is like the love interest, Vinny is the tough who people act like that because of his owner. With his group behind him as he acts like the top dog, and Oliver is the only dog who was able to put Vinny in his place. On their own, they don't seem like interesting characters, but how they're executed is actually pretty well done. It's definitely more interesting than you think. And being one big surprise, and you can always find fun between all these dogs. As for the human side of the story, well, the humans aren't really that engaging. There's Emma, who wants more time with her dad. And she's just too busy to spend time with her ever since the passing of his wife. Because we need a dead mum somewhere, even if it's not at an animated film. And Victor, the villain of the feature, who orders his two henchmen to be the burglars to break into the house. Honestly, the humans aren't really as interesting as the dogs. If both stories blended well together, maybe it would have worked. But I find much with the people and their personality. But I can say something that both sides do have, and that is how the actors did an alright job. Now, I didn't expect anyone to stand out, and most of them are just us not giving it their all, thinking that this is just like a direct-to-video Home Alone ripoff. However, there are some that do give it their best, knowing that this might be a direct-to-video film, but it doesn't mean that they don't need to put any effort in. They all put that effort in this movie, and it actually works. These characters are fun and engaging when the actors take charge and lead like the top dogs. It also helps that they make the humans more engaging and more interesting than they seem. Maybe they're not the most fleshed out characters, but for something that's just written off Home Alone, these guys aren't too bad. Right, now let's get on to the story. Right. Now, this film has two sides: a skiing story, right, and the main Home Alone story. With the Home Alone story being and the dogs, that's actually told really well. Yes, it can feel kind of predictable. So it is trying its best to be a Home Alone ripoff, since it does suggest that in the title, but it actually doesn't do a bad job at it. The writers gave everything and they had to just try and make it's a well executed story. Really like the characters, as given each dog a role to play, and how the situation can be big. It also helps use the advantages of the Home Alone film to craft the plan and bring out some humour that can be pretty funny. I get them at these are more kiddish jokes, and they're probably not going to be for everybody, but there is humour that is actually really enjoyable. You're most likely going to get a laugh out of a few jokes, maybe not all, but you will definitely get a laugh out of some of them. But then there is the human side of the story. The biggest problem with the film is that with the human side, I still see where the people's side is coming from. While the dogs are home, it needs to show what the people are doing on the trip. However, the biggest problem with that is how the main story is predictable, but the execution makes it engaging. The same can be said with the skiing story. Only the execution really wants to focus more on the Home Alone side of the story than more for and the people side of the story. Which I think is disappointing, since if both plots aren't really engaging, the execution needs to be good for both of them. And when it's not, it has one plot that feels unnecessary to the movie. I get it. The story ain't anything spectacular, especially with one side not feeling too exciting, but the other side is actually well executed and offers some nice charm. And now we get into the visuals, which were actually a surprise for me. I like how, while this is a Christmas movie, the main suburban area where at the Home Alone side of the story takes place isn't actually in snow. In fact, it's just a nice sunny environment where there's no snow at all. I like this. It's down here in Plymouth, we don't really get snow that often, so we don't usually get a white Christmas. So I can really relate to what was needed to be done. Not only that, but at the skiing place where the people do the first part of the story take place, it's actually not too bad. While it doesn't really explore the place as much as I hoped, there are some times where it can show the nice snowy graphics, all inside the cabin to give it nice details. Granted, it's always never exciting, but they do try their best with the visuals to make sure they stand out. But then there is how they animate the dogs' mouths, which with the dogs talking, it doesn't. It can depend. On one hand, how people could enjoy how the dog they do use real life dogs instead of making them out of CG. On the other hand, they don't make the mouth CG, so it doesn't really feel like the dogs are actually talking. Okay, because there are other films that I know that use real dogs but have CG mouths for them, so we can understand that they're talking, like the Lady and the Tramp remake and the Beethoven's Christmas Adventure. However, it doesn't seem like they captured it here, and rather have the dogs act like dogs. But if there can end the visuals on a pretty high note, is that there are some animated scenes where it's told like a storybook. I like this idea. Yeah. It feels like something that your kid would be read by their parents on Christmas Eve, ready for the big day. And it does have a nice storybook feel as well as the animations. They ain't true to everything that's on screen live action wise. So overall, for something that's just trying to rip off Home Alone, it doesn't actually do a bad job at it. Pups alone is just as the Home Alone rip off, yes, but it's actually an okay one, and did it all right. Yes, the people's side of the story ain't engaging, which is why the plot ain't really exciting there, and the characters on that side aren't really that interesting. But for what it does focus on, which is the Home Alone side with the dogs, it has a strong story going for it. The characters are fun and engaging, and the visuals do an alright job. I wouldn't say that this is one of the must-watch during the Christmas time, but if you want something that I can at least good old rip-off of something it's better, so then this might be it. Well, I'll probably take Home Alone by the way, the original Home Alone over this any day. At least either I can say that I'll also take this one over the Home Alone sequel equals after Home Alone 2 any day. Which is why I'll give the movie a 6.5 out of 10. It's nothing really exciting, but for what you get, it's a nice, cute looking little Christmas movie. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Comment, like, and subscribe. I've got 3 more films to review this year. Yeah, 1 more Christmas film and 2 animated films. So look out for those, and I will see you next time.